Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast where you'll learn how to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit. No influencer status necessary. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and we're currently in a series about hosting an online summit as an introvert. Today in episode 44, we're breaking that down to chat about managing live video for your summit as an introvert. We're going to cover whether I think live video is absolutely necessary or video in general, what pieces of video, both live and not, go into your event, and how to effectively manage those pieces as an introvert. So let's start by talking about if video is absolutely necessary for a summit. And I want to be able to tell you no, because I know that's what some of you want to hear. And I suppose the real answer is no. You can host a summit without video, but for the results I promise you guys and all of my content and all of these episodes in my programs, the answer is yes. You need to do live video or just video in general. So why that is, with a summit, you have a very large cold audience coming in. And that's because you have speakers and affiliates sending you all this traffic. A lot of these people have never heard of you before, and you're going to connect with them so much more quickly and strongly and effectively with video. And I can 100% contribute signups and sales to every single live video I do throughout the process. I'm sure not live videos are the same, but those are a little bit harder to track. But I want you to get the best results possible for your summit. And that's why I'm saying yes, video is necessary for a summit. But don't worry, I'm going to help you make it at least fairly painless. So let's talk about what pieces of video go into a summit. A lot of these are optional, but doing as many as possible is so worth it in my experience, in my opinion. But you can kind of prioritize what I'm going to talk about based on what you think is going to make the biggest impact for you and go from there. And these videos include some that are live, some that are pre-recorded. Both are important. So first, let's talk about pages on your website that I really suggest having a video on. First is your registration page. This is the first page people are going to come to when one of your speakers or affiliates or one of their friends tells them about this summit. This is a perfect place to have a video where you can really connect with them in that first experience they have. And this can be super short. Don't make it any longer than 2 minutes, but it's such a great way to connect with them. And for people who kind of get the gist of things better when they listen rather than read, it's a great way to really hit on what your summit is going to accomplish for them. The next page is your thank you and upsell page. And, again, these people are still getting used to you having a video on that page. This is the one they see right after they register. It's a great way to build that connection a little bit more. And here you're thanking them for signing up, letting them know what's next, and then pitching a special offer of your All Access Pass. And those are the 2 pages on your website where I think having a video is really great. And again, 2 minutes or less is all you need to do. I have scripts for these inside of the Summit Host Vault to make it really nice and easy. The next place that's really great to do videos is your Facebook community. This is where you're going to be connecting with your members, and they're going to be connecting with you. So the first video to do is a welcome video. This one can be live or pre-recorded. I always just do a Facebook Live because it's so easy. I don't have to worry about editing or uploading. It's already right there on Facebook. You're just welcoming them to the group, encouraging them to introduce themselves, maybe say what they're most excited to learn about, things like that. Get them interacting with you and the other members right in that welcome post. The next one I like to do is live mini trainings before the summit starts. So you're going to have, 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how long your promotion period is, where there are people in your Facebook group before the summit starts, and you want to keep them engaged. So what I do is I watch my join questions. And one of the questions I have is, what are you most struggling with related to X, where X is, the topic of your summit. And if I see answers coming in that I don't have a presentation for, I will do a live, 5 to 10 minute training in the group, talking about that kind of thing. And they love it. And that they get in there, they start talking to me, they're asking questions. It's a great way to help them start getting excited before the summit starts. And again, continue connecting with you and other people. Then we have the kickoff call and closing call. So these are calls that happen before the summit starts and after it's over, just kind of telling people what to expect, what happens next, and pitching that All Access Pass. These are the ones where I say I can see sales coming in as I'm doing these calls. So they're a really great thing to do and a great way to build more connection. There are some people I see that do calls, like live videos in their Facebook community every morning and or every afternoon. Now, I don't do that. That's something that is really draining for me. It's something I would dread every single day. So I don't do that. I don't see a huge benefit in that. But that's something else you could do if you want to, not something I do. do. And then for presentations, I recommend not making yourself a part of every single presentation. So you can if you want to. There are people that, do interviews for everyone, even if they're introverted, or who record an intro for each speaker and add it to the beginning of their video. I don't do that. That's a little exhausting for me. It takes a lot of time. I don't do that. So this is somewhere where maybe you do choose, I'm not going to do this video because it will be draining for me. I think this is an okay place to do it. Next is social media promotion. And this is somewhere where I do think that it's important to show up live when you can. I don't think you need to push yourself to be like doing some kind of live video every single day, but just kind of balance your energy, do it when you're feeling up to it. Maybe have some promos all planned out in advance. So when you're like, hey, I'm feeling up to doing a quick video, you can just go grab a topic and don't have to sit and think about it and kind of wear yourself out before you even get started. And then next is speaker pitches. And this is somewhere I actually haven't included a video as of yet, but I think I will in the future. And that's having a video as a part of your speaker pitch for each speaker, especially for the ones you don't know as well. It's a great way to connect with them. But again, this is somewhere where if you're like, I'm exhausted by all this video, I don't want to do it. It's something you don't necessarily have to do. But let's talk about how to effectively manage all of this as an introvert. So my first tip here is to do as much pre-recorded as possible and batch it. For me, the more I can do pre-recorded, the easier it is. Some people might feel like batching makes it more overwhelming, but for me, it's actually better because it's fewer days of me waking up and dreading having to hit that record button. And I can have all of the scripts ready for myself and just knock them all out at once and maybe know that the rest of my day I might be kind of worthless. But this applies to pre-recorded videos. As for the rest of them, those live videos, determine what's necessary and what's going to get you the biggest return. You can also spread them out and outline them in advance. So it's easier for you when you do it and you're not totally exhausting yourself. I like to get my live video out of the way as early in the day as possible, so I'm not wasting energy thinking of doing the video. So basically spending energy by thinking about spending energy. So those are a couple of my tips here. And then also, like I said before, don't make yourself a part of every presentation. That's one way to really effectively manage that video, is to not do it where you don't have to. And like I said, consider not doing lives in your Facebook group every morning and every afternoon unless you really think it's something that your audience is going to be into and respond to well. As for those live videos I mentioned, I said spread them out, and I think that's a good idea, but when you can batch them, maybe like you have one topic you can do a video on in your Facebook group, in your attendee group, and on like Instagram stories in the same day to keep people already signed up engaged and to get people who haven't signed up converted. Maybe you do that. Or maybe you have 2 cameras going and you're doing the same video in 2 different platforms at once. And that's 2 fewer times you have to expend that energy. So kind of think about how you work best and plan things based on that. I will say that if you haven't done a lot of video, especially live video, it takes practice. It will get easier. The resistance you might feel towards doing video probably doesn't have a whole lot to do with being introverted. It might just be something you're not used to. The more you do it, I promise, the easier it will get. And this comes from somebody who literally sat with her hand hovering over the go live button on Periscope, sweating for 30 minutes before my first live on there. And I can tell you now, I don't even think about it. I don't even outline stuff for myself anymore. I just say, hope this goes well, and hit go live. And you'll get to that point too. So overall, just prioritize what's most important to you and your summit and add in the other things where you can. Maybe you have a list of live videos where it's like, if I feel up to this, this is what I'm going to do. And then that's a great thing to do, and don't put pressure on yourself to complete the whole list. But the more live video you can do, the better you're going to see an increase in engagement and connection each time your attendees can connect with you over video. Like I said, it's worth stepping outside of your comfort zone, but that doesn't mean you can't make adjustments to make it easier. So as for action steps for this episode, take a look at the show notes for the different pieces of video we talked about and prioritize what's most important to you so you know where to focus. Then I want you to schedule a day to outline all of those videos and batch as many pre-recorded ones as you can. Maybe you break that up into 2 days, outlining one day, batching another day. Even getting a couple out of the way to start with is going to make you feel better, and it's going to feel really good that you have them done and can one day be like, oh, I need a video for this. I already recorded it. All you have to do is upload it. That's a great feeling. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. For show notes and resources mentioned, head to summitHostHangout.com/044. In the next episode, we'll be chatting with a guest all about managing social media for your summit as an introvert, so be sure to tune in for that. Now go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit.